All right, I think we're live.
Ho, ho, ho! Happy holidays, go game go. I should have just said that. Ho, ho, go game go.
Yeah, go game go. Ho, ho.
Ho, ho, go game go. Yeah. Oh, so here we are.
Here we are.
Now
A Christmas show.
I'm doing a show. Now I got a cough.
Kind of cool. Oh, before we do the show, just a real quick story.
Yes.
Just about, I don't know, what is 2 hours ago or so, I went to go get us some food,
Yes.
some fast food, and I was in line. I was at Lee's Fried Chicken.
Oh, I like Lee's.
And they didn't have enough pickles, fried pickles, so they had to fry some more. So I had to pull up and sit for a little bit.
That's
God, this hat is hot.
well, that's modest if I do say so myself. Well, this hat is hot when it's on my head.
So so I pull up. They asked me to pull up next to the drain spout.
Yeah.
And wait for them. So I'm waiting for a long time. So I decided, let's see. How do I do this? Okay. So I got this Doug Fieger Forever Together.
Yeah. What the heck is that?
It just came out. And disc 1 is Doug Fieger solos. Disc 2, previously unreleased Burton of Vare demos. Oh, that's interesting.
Shut your mouth.
Also, Knack demos. Doug Fieger.
That does what I'm calling Burton when we're done with the show. I should just try to call him while we're on this show.
And then Knack Live. So on Knack Live, that was a disc I was listening to.
I was going to say, were you going to tell me you were waiting there so long you listened to every disc?
So for people who don't know, Doug Fieger was the lead singer of the Knack. He died 10 years ago, actually. Wow.
Has it been that long already?
Yeah.
Man.
So I was listening to disc 3, and these are all live, which is cool because I haven't heard much live from them. And She's So Selfish comes on. So I want to take a listen because in the very beginning of the song, Doug Fieger whispers something. And I can't tell what it is on the actual CD all these years. You know, it's been 41 years. I've never been able to quite understand what he said.
Yeah.
To me, it always sounded like he said January. But I was like, that doesn't make any sense. So I had it on, but I didn't have it on too loud. I had the window down. I was waiting for them to come bring the chicken and stuff. And I started up, and I didn't hear any whisper at all. I was like, oh, I guess I didn't do it live. So I get the food. Oh, by the way, the fried pickles that we had to wait for, they dropped on the floor, so they had to make a new batch. So I was actually there quite a long time. So I finally get the food, roll up the window, and I rewind to hear She's So Selfish. And at the very beginning, after a few drum beats, I hear him whispering something. I was like, he did say it on this. So then I rewind again, crank it up as loud as I can stand it. And I heard exactly what he said for the first time in 41 years.
Cheese sauce.
He whispers, "Don't worry."
Don't worry.
I don't know what that's about, but that's what he whispered.
Well, now I got to listen to it because I'm wondering if I
wonder if I can hear it in the actual song, like off the original CD or whatever.
Right.
But it was a Christmas miracle. That's what it was.
Hallelujah! It's a Christmas miracle.
I finally know. It only took 41 years to figure it out.
And what he tells you is, don't worry. So when you find out, it's consoling at the same time. Don't worry. You'll figure it out in 41 years.
So then I whispered, I was like, January, don't worry. Yeah, it's a little bit.
That is kind of, it is kind of the same. That's fantastic.
I'm just glad I know.
Me too. And because and then here we are tonight, and that's the song that brought us together.
It was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Bert Navarre, the lead guitarist, has a few demos on here by himself. That's interesting.
Well, Burton he was responsible, and we need to. I will call him straight away, and again, maybe I'll call him while we're on the show. But I need to call him about doing an interview because he was responsible for the different vocal melodies that they did. He would write those. So the lyrics would be written, but he'd come up with the vocal melodies. Which coming up with a vocal melody is really all you're doing is playing a guitar solo over the top of your regular melody. You're just doing if you do a guitar solo, that's what Joe Satriani does. That's what all of these guitar players do, is they just, whenever they're soloing over, that's what they're doing. They're just doing a vocal line with their guitar. So there.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So we're talking holidays, right? We're talking a little Christmas. It's like kind of
any holiday you're celebrating here.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia show because we talk about nostalgia. We talk about the video games, which were totally nostalgic to Christmas. I was looking up, doing a little research yesterday about some of the games that came out for Atari, because those were the days when the video games started for me. And so it was, we got Combat, Air Sea Battle, and some of those back in, 78 when it was coming out and when we got it. And then, 79, I think that it, and then into especially 80 and 82 is when.
You got yours a lot earlier than me. I don't think I got mine till like 80.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I honestly don't remember the year.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah. And then 82, was it 80 or 82 when Asteroids came out? There was that 3-year period where they were just boom, boom, boom. They were putting out cool stuff. I think like 82, they had Spider-Man, Superman came out as well, which was earlier. It came out because the movie had come out. So I think it came out in 79. But then Parker Brothers started making games, and that's where we got Spider-Man and some other titles as well.
Remember I used to love, and I don't know how I got them. I don't know if they're in the stores or if they got mailed to us, but the old Atari like catalogs. I mean, they're about like this big.
Yep.
And it would have like every game in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to love those things.
Yeah, my dad still has those. He still has them. Actually, we had multiples of them at his house, so I grabbed a couple of them. I grabbed one. He had multiple copies of a few of them, and so I took whatever he had multiple copies of. I took one. So I'll find those. I brought them with me. I should have them. I just got to find them. That's kind of weird.
That first Christmas with Atari was, I think I just had a Space Invaders and Combat.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it. And then my Sun Cycle, the separate piece. Oh.
When did the Activision game start coming out? Was that 81 or was that 80 or 80, 82?
That's a good question. Was it 80?
Because we didn't get a ton of those, but I mean, we had Pitfall and.
Once they says they were founded on October 1st, 1979.
Okay.
I'm not sure when the first game came out, but that is mostly what I bought once they started up.
Yeah, those were totally a step up when those started coming out.
God, it really was, wasn't it?
It was
so much better.
And I was surprised that Warlords came out when it did. It wasn't at 1980. Because I was like, really? It came out? I mean, we had it a couple of years before Warlords ever came out.
What's interesting is there's a documentary called Once Upon Atari.
Yeah.
And I downloaded, I think from GOG.com.
Okay.
It was like $6. And it comes in, I think, 3 parts. So it's pretty cheap. I have the original DVD somewhere, but I want it digitally. And the woman who made Warlords is in this documentary a lot. She's like one of the main people they talk to.
Because we looked her up, and I try to get a hold of her to do an interview.
Yeah, that was Oh, that if anyone hasn't seen that documentary, go watch it. Once Upon Atari.
Yeah.
It's done by Howard Scott Warshaw, the guy who did Yar's Revenge.
Oh yeah.
So, and they interview a lot of the early people from Atari. It's pretty interesting to hear some of the antics that were going on there.
So I mean, the Atari and getting all of that stuff was that was an exciting time. I'm trying to remember. I mean, I know we had video games then throughout when, that went on for a few years, us getting the Atari, but that was all there was. That was it. We didn't have an Intellivision. We didn't have ColecoVision. We didn't do PC games when they were coming out. My friends had PCs. We didn't, which is we just didn't have a need for it.
I had a Commodore 64. Speaking of Christmas, I actually got one for Christmas. So after Atari, I had just a few games for Commodore 64. I didn't really use it to play games, to be honest. I used it to program.
Well, and then there were handheld units too that we had. So, So
I showed one of those on a show, the football one.
Yep, you showed the football. Yeah.
Mattel had a big line, and the ones I always got were Bambino. It's a funny name, but
right.
And theirs were pretty big, but they did football, basketball, boxing. One of my favorite ones they had was, I think it's called Space Duel, where you had the screen here, and it was a 2-player game. You had to have 2 people, and
Space Duel, yeah.
Each robot had a gun. You're just facing each other, and the whole object was just to shoot the other guy. But as a robot, you could duck, or you could jump up high to avoid any kind of a ground shot.
Interesting.
So it was like a game of chicken, because you're so close to each other. You fired. You had to react really fast, and it was such a great idea. I would. There's a game on the Switch called One Strike.
One Strike. Okay.
It's a fighting game, but you get hit once and you're dead. And it's kind of like this. It's almost like a Twitch-based game where it's a game. It's a game of chicken. You're going back and forth. You do you do something and you go forward when you do your attack, and then you can block, or you can run back.
Wow!
And so it's really fun to watch, because sometimes you try to get someone to attack, and you scoot out just a little bit, and then you come right back in and nail them.
I would
defend.
I would probably suck at that game, because I am way too. I'm just too pushy. I'm just like, I'm gonna get them, and then they get me because I'm just rushing it.
There's it's a really cheap game. I mean, I don't even know if it's $5, and it usually goes on sale for $1.
Wow.
And but it's got 8 characters. They added some.
Now
they do have a single player mode. It's fun.
Well, now here's my question. Did you say that you have Nidhogg 2 on the Switch?
Yes.
Then why aren't we playing?
Is that online?
Yeah, I play against Logan, I thought. No, is it not?
I don't know. I've never played online. We've only played here locally. I don't know.
That's true. I'm trying to remember if Logan and I played over the internet or if we just played here.
But that's a great game too.
It is. Let's check that out later and see.
Instead of chicken, that's basically a tug of war where you're hitting a guy and then running for your life trying to get out, and then they're coming back after you. Such a great game.
I love it. I love it. Now, also, we're doing, since we're in the midst of a holiday show, I have some cookies that I iced.
Oh, very nice.
Green trees, and you tell me what the heck this is. I thought it was an angel, but then I thought it was a reindeer. What is this? Is that an angel, or is it a reindeer, or what?
What the heck?
What is it? I mean, it's kind of like an angel, but it's like that way. It's like a reindeer. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But the ultimate, I had to do it. You ready?
Yeah.
They look like crap, but I had to do it. Viking cookies. There's nothing like a good Viking cookie. His eyes are really weird.
The key to a good cookie is a lot of icing.
I know.
By the way, so Lance looked it up. Dragster was Activision's first game. We were just talking about Dragster.
Wow.
I said that game is basically like a 6-second game. You race, and you're trying to get as fast as possible. There's certain scores you're trying to hit.
Thank you. Pitfall, 1982. Exactly.
Look at this. It sold over 4 million copies. Can you imagine?
It was huge.
Oh
it was huge. God. I can't believe they never made a movie.
Looked like an axe.
Thank you. I'm eating the axe right now. That way there can be no more question as to what it is. What is it?
It's delicious. That's what it is.
It's delicious. Yeah, it is not worth putting a thin layer of frosting on anything.
I saw at Schnucks, our local grocery store. They've got a big cookie cake, and instead of icing it, they give you 3 big globs of icing, in that little baker's thing you squirt. I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I'm just going to fill the whole thing up. I don't care what it looks like. Go to town.
Wow, that's really nice, Jeff.
They had
sprinkles. You don't have to lie. Just eat it.
They had sprinkles. I'd take those and just go, woo.
Woo-hoo. See ya.
I should ask him, can you replace these sprinkles with more icing?
Please. Dang, that's a good cookie. So, but yeah, down the line, I think we had video games. We'd buy video games for the kids over the years. I'm hard pressed to remember if we had a system at Christmas. The Xbox maybe. We may have given Logan an Xbox.
I mean, after Atari, I honestly didn't have another game system until TurboGrafx.
Right. And I got that, and so that was not a Christmas thing, but, certainly we did buy games, but the only one that was the last one I remember being a system at Christmas was the GameCube. We bought that for Logan for Christmas. Oh, and a Game Boy, but I can't remember if that was for his birthday or Christmas.
I'm trying to think. I guess we probably got the boys a game system or two during Christmas. I don't really remember.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Game Boy was for Christmas because that's when I went to Sears and they saved my ass. I don't know. Does anybody say that much anymore? Sears saved my ass? Because I was like, nobody's going to Sears for toys and they have video game stuff. I wonder if they've got one. Sure enough, they're like, yeah, we've got them. I'm like, bitching. You have this color? Cool. But I wrote down some notes about some different things that I remember about Christmases that we had for gifts. So if anybody, whoever's out there, of the millions of people out there watching this right now,
the millions.
Number 1, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button.
Oh, yeah, we're only 2 subscribers away from
150, right? And then what we'd love to do is hit 200 by the end of the year. Just 200. You can do that, right? Tell your friends, and then tell your friends' friends, and then talk to people you don't even know and creep them out. It might work. And they'll be like, how'd you guys get started? We just asked people to creep people out and subscribe to our channel. It's just that creepy.
Subscribe.
I remember it was back in 2020. The year of the crap. So Atari VCS was first released in North America on September 11th, 1977. Interesting. September 11th.
I wonder if that was nationwide.
What's VCS stand for? Video
computer system, I believe.
Okay, gotcha.
By the way,
basic math, blackjack, combat.
Somebody asked in chat.
Yeah.
why Tommy was wearing our shirt but can't pronounce the channel name. It's a joke. It's just an ongoing joke. He wasn't serious.
Why was he wearing our shirt?
And yet can't pronounce the name.
I said a word tonight to my friend on a phone call, and he says, "Can you spell that?" And I spelled it, and he goes, "Is that right?" I go, "Yeah, it's right, because that's how I spelled it." And you asked.
Is that right?
And he goes, "I'm just asking because my mom always told me, don't use words you can't spell." I was like, "That's pretty funny." So what's something that, I mean, when I think about Christmases that I remember, because I was drunk as a child, but when I think about the Christmases I remember, it's something really cool that I got as a gift. Speaking of shirts, there you go, gogamego. It's the years that I remember, like G.I. Joe stuff. I'd get G.I. Joe stuff.
G.I. Joe.
And I remember my grandma, who wasn't really actually my grandma. She was related, but not really my grandma. But it's family secrets you find out later.
Wait, did you think she was your grandma at one point?
That's what they called her.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, no. I really would.
That's very interesting.
Because,
was she related to you at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was weird.
Was it just that she was so old? They're like, she'll be your grandma.
She was more like an aunt. But in order to work her into the fold, she was like they call her my grandma.
Now look here. I know you're only an aunt, but we want you in the family closer. From now on, you're grandma. We'll never talk to this again.
Okay, so wait a minute. All right, we're talking about holidays. We're talking about food. We're talking about cookies. I have to interject because of that whole thing. What was the favorite food you had from one of your grandmas? One that you still remember, and you're like, "Oh man, they used to make that," and I'm like, how, maybe one day I'll make that.
My grandma B used to make this thing called cheese pie. It has no cheese in it.
So this is like my grandma that wasn't my grandma.
It was this pie wasn't a pie.
So he loves
the ingredients. I think it has Philadelphia cream cheese, if I remember.
Oh, then okay, so there's cheese.
And then there's like a box of lemon Jello, I think.
Yeah.
But the pie doesn't taste like lemon at all. I don't even know how to describe it. And it's really, really light. And it's so light, you could easily eat the entire pie in one sitting.
Oh my God.
That's how light it is.
Is it like, oh man, why can't I say her name? Like Viviano's 7-Up Jello?
I've never had that.
What? Yeah. Why can't I think of her first What was her first name? She worked downstairs at the front desk.
Emily.
Emily.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because I bumped into her at Sam's years later. Sella and I were out running around at Sam's, and there she was. She's like, is this your wife? I was like, no, that's not my wife. We're just hanging out. We're just hanging out. Because she had met my wife before. She's like, is this your wife? No.
This is not my beautiful wife.
This is my beautiful friend. Yeah, no, it's so anyway. But yeah, so she made that. It had cream cheese, Jello, and 7-Up. So go ahead. So this pie, it was really light. Did it have a crust?
It did. It had a traditional pie crust.
Okay.
But I would always scoop the pie filling out because I didn't like that crust. So then my grandma would make one pie with graham cracker crust. And let me tell you, that's the way to eat it.
See, and that's what I thought you were going to tell me. I thought you were going to tell me it had a graham cracker crust.
It does now.
It does now.
But the weird thing is I tried making it. It sounds really simple to make, but then there's like several parts to making this thing, and I couldn't do it. It turned out like crap. So
yeah, there's somebody who they'll like make recipes that people make, and they're like, and so he did a binging with Babish and did a key lime pie. He's like, I think next time I'll do double the filling because this didn't really fill up. I'm like, it's because you didn't make it right. You got to whip those eggs. You got to put some muscle in it. Don't be a wuss, because you got to whip them up, and then it's nice and light, and it's not so dense and People eat your shit like that, and they think that's what it's supposed to be like, and you're like, that's not what it is. You did it wrong. You did it wrong. So anyway,
wrong.
I
just asked. Oh, go ahead.
So my grandma used to make these little cookies, and they're cream cookies, and they're about the size of a silver dollar, and they have little sugar on top, and they're little circles, and then you poke holes in them because it's like a pastry almost. So they're just like you're talking about. It's very light, and then in the middle she would have pastel colored frosting and make sandwich cookies like that. And I mean, they were just little dinky guys like that. And I still have yet to make them. Julie, that used to work with Ms. Johnson, she made them for me one time. So they were they were pretty good. But still, that was the one thing, if I could have those every day.
I was just thinking it'd be funny if you were describing your grandma's, say, some cookies she made, and you're like, oh, it was great. It was like these little squares. They had this fig filling, and it was wrapped in this like little cookie cake. It was kind of like a tan color. Oh, so good.
And she'd serve them in this little plastic tray. That was so weird.
She went through trouble of wrapping these in plastic.
It's so uniformly. I don't know how she did it. Must have taken hours. So anyway, G.I. Joe's action figures, that grandma used to call them dolls. Did you want to look at some dolls? Those dolls that you play with? I'm like, they are not dolls. They are actually, at the time, we didn't call them action figures. I didn't. I called them guys. They were guys. So I'm playing with my guys. I got my guys out, and she goes, oh, your dolls? I go, no, they're my guys. They're not my dolls. They're my guys.
I'm fighting with them. Dolls don't fight.
Dolls don't fight. Good point.
That's the difference between men and women. We get dolls, and we make them fight.
Right.
Girls get dolls, and they accessorize them.
And they play and visit each other's house.
We make everything fight to the death. That's what I do with my Micronauts. I used to get those, and I'd have all kind of the big move was the pile driver. I put them in position and I'd drop them from about 4 feet high, and they'd hit. And the Micronauts, all their parts, in order for them not to break that much, they like the head, and arms. They had this like stick, and like a little bulb, and you'd push it in.
Yeah,
you could pop them out easily. So they'd hit the ground, and these things would just go boom. They were like two heads, and 4 arms everywhere. And you had that chest plate that popped in. It was pretty cool the way everything just popped in because nothing really broke. It fell apart, and you just put it back together. Good to go. So I asked chat what their video game related gifts, like on our wish list, would be for this year.
Oh,
what would be on your wish list? Or
on mine, a GTO Red Amico.
That would be cool.
At least to be able to purchase it. But otherwise, there are a couple of games out there that I'd really like to get. Like, I know, that the Mario 3D is big on my list this year.
3D, the
All-Stars.
The little kart racer?
3D All-Stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the Switch. I really want to have that.
I know people complain because Nintendo really didn't do anything with it. They just pretty much, I shouldn't say that. They, like with Mario 64, they cleaned up the graphics. They're not blurry anymore.
Right.
They didn't do anything else with the graphics. It's still pretty much the way they were.
Yeah.
What was the second one? Oh, Sunshine.
Yep.
I think they made that one widescreen.
Sweet.
Which it was not originally.
Yeah.
And the third one, what, Galaxy. I think that's the one where they did the most. That was one. It was a weird thing. It wasn't like just the ROM. It was the ROM, and then they changed parts of it and put it back together. It's really I was watching a video about it. It's very strange the way they did that, but it looks great. And I don't care if they don't do anything with Mario 64. I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just wanted it not blurry, to be honest.
Right.
As long as I can have it not blurry, I'm cool.
Yeah, Mad Little Pixel was playing Galaxy the night I was watching.
I mean, when you it's so cool when you go back to 64 and play like that Water World, because I always love the music. That's my favorite music in that game. It's like, man, this is. Where did we get that? Nintendo 64. Were we married?
Nintendo 64? No.
What did that come out? 96?
We were not.
We were married in 96.
What were we? Oh.
She doesn't know when we were married.
No. I was thinking, you know what? I was thinking of when we were over at Paul's house playing.
That was TurboGrafx.
And we were still dating.
That was TurboGrafx.
That was the regular Nintendo.
It was TurboGrafx because we were playing Keith Courage.
Wasn't it you? It wasn't.
I remember.
Remember, he used to always play Mario.
Okay.
Nintendo discussions. 15 love.
Oh,
Love
so what game
you.
did you say besides the 3D one?
No, I mean, anything else that's the only one that I've really talked about that I really, that I've been serious about wanting to get. And, I don't know, because I don't want to overdo it because I don't have time for all of them. So if I was thinking about one, because I've got to save talk about one of the games for our next show, or at two shows from now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
I mean, for me, like a wish list thing, it would be like PS5 or Xbox Series X, probably PS5.
Yeah, see, I can't even think about another system like that right now.
Oh, the earliest I would get one would be next Christmas.
Yes, at least. I mean,
But it's like if Santa's bringing me something, that's what I'd ask for. Santa, if you want to bring me a free PS5, go nuts.
Right. I mean, yeah. If there was a new Uncharted or something happening, then yeah.
I do. I'm excited to try out the PS5 controller because the triggers now, they fight back. Like when you go to pull it,
yeah,
it'll tense up or loosen up depending on what you're trying to do.
Shut your mouth.
I was like, that sounds really cool.
That's really cool, interactive. That's interesting.
I love when controllers add new stuff. That's why, some of Nintendo's controllers are.
Yeah. And that's why the Amico is sounding so cool to us. Soundbar and subwoofer for the game room.
I like that, Lance. That sounds good.
Lance, all right. That's easily attainable, right?
I don't know if you saw Pete's last episode about Miko. He had Tommy on.
Yeah.
That's when he wore. That's when he showed our shirt that he had no idea how to pronounce.
So picky. People, they got nothing better to do.
Well, anyway, the guy who said that was actually blocked from his channel for being a jackass. So he somehow got back in on another account. It's like, really? You find this fascinating? 7:30 on a Wednesday night. I'm going to make an alt account and go razz these guys. It's like,
you don't even know how to say it.
do you not even have cable? Why? How are you this bored?
Go write a letter. A nice letter to a friend. if your mom's still paying for those.
But when Tom was on there, he said 50-50 chance it makes the April release.
No, really? 50-50?
And he said if it didn't, it'd be like June, July. So I'm already in my mind thinking this is releasing in July. He did say there's a chance they might send out
I was going to say
Founders Day and maybe some VP ones if they can.
yeah.
But remember on our show, I think the second show we did with them, I asked them, that was a long time ago too.
Yeah, I mean, they have to know, you know.
And because I said, is there a chance it wouldn't make it even still in April? And even way back then, he goes, yeah, it's a chance.
Right.
Well, nothing's changed. I mean,
No.
it's actually gotten worse there. California's on lockdown again.
Yeah, it's the back and forth that slows everything down. It's the, you know, okay, whoop, hold it. Okay, no, yeah, no, okay, go it. Nah, just, and you're like, that's what I'm saying. That's just chill out. But it's true. There's just no way to do it. And it's not like Tommy's got complete control over everything and can go, well, I can make it happen. He doesn't. It's just like me with a band. It's like you don't have, there's no single control. If some cog in the wheel goes out, the whole damn thing goes out of whack.
Unless you're a one-man band.
Well,
Have you thought about that?
No, that's true. It's totally true. If your leg goes out, you might as well forget that other symbol. So
No one to argue with.
No, there's nobody to bitch about the name that you've chosen and the gig that you're getting and what songs you're playing. Unless you have multiple personalities, then you're totally screwed.
Yeah.
Then you are screwed. Well,
as far as wish list, that's probably about all I'd really,
yeah,
really want. I mean,
yeah.
Even then, I'm certain. I mean, like I said, I'm not getting one this year. I don't even know if we're getting one next year.
So, Lance, does that mean that
curfew?
Like you have to be inside at that time? You, yourself, and other people have to be, or is that when businesses close? I mean, that's happening here. I mean, we have, our open jam is usually from 8 to midnight, but now we're 7 to 11. And even last week on the sign outside the venue, it said 7 to 10:45.
What's funny here is like all the restaurants are shut down except for dine-in. They're shut down. They're still doing takeout.
Right.
But we've got a county that butts right up to us, St. Charles County.
Mm-hmm.
They're open for business. Everything's open for business. St. Louis City is open for business. It's like, what? Why is the county sandwiched between these two? What do you think's going to happen? People are just going to go St. Charles?
And they do. Yeah,
because people want to get out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They want to live their lives. So what was some of the things I remember really happened in the mid to late 70s. So I remember in 1977, I'm a music head, right? So in 1977, my brother got Styx, Grand Illusion on vinyl, and I got Point of No Return by Kansas. The following year, we got Queen Jazz on 8-track. My brother got that for Christmas. And I remember on our Christmas trip, I bought Toto's first album on vinyl at a mall in Phoenix, Arizona. We were visiting with friends that used to live down the street from us. And they'd moved to Arizona. So we went to the mall and I got Toto's first record in 1978. But music was always a big thing for mine. And this is hilarious. I've got to show you this because I only had one word wrong. It was one word missing. And I've always been joking about this. I'm trying to find a year on this and I'm not seeing it on the cover. Am I going to see it? It's probably on the vinyl. Because, it is 1974. So in 1974 is a huge Christmas for me because not only did I get Carl Douglas, Kung Fu Fighting. And can you read what this says, Jeff?
Hold on. Can I make you? Let's see. What am I looking at?
What's the name of the album? Kung Fu Fighting
and other great love songs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Kung great Fu love Fighting, song, Kung Fu Fighting,
and other great love songs. Because Kung Fu Fighting is definitely a love song.
That's hilarious.
But a great record. It had a song on it called Witchfinder General.
Another great love song.
Yeah. I can't remember, but he uses the word bitches. So here it was, 1974. I was 10 years old, and I have a Witchfinder General tune singing about bitches.
That reminds me, my nephew Sean, when he was, I don't know what, 9 or 10, asked for Charles Barkley basketball on the Genesis for Christmas.
Yeah.
And my grandma B got it for him. And he puts it in that day while we're all sitting around, and he's playing it. And in there's a line where Charles Barkley says, "Give me the damn ball." And he just starts laughing and laughing. He goes, "Grandma B gave me a gift where they're cursing." And then she felt bad for giving me a gift with a curse word. Give me the damn ball.
So that same year, look what I get. In hardback,
Ooh.
Origins of Marvel Comics. And I wrote inside, I wrote my name and the date. So Christmas of 74.
Wow.
So those two things, I about flipped out. I just was like, this is amazing. And to still have it, and the cover has some wear, it's got some wear and tear, but overall it's pretty good. And I keep it in plastic.
Well, it is 46 years old.
I know, right? I mean,
Oh my gosh, it's just about 50 years old now. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And the hardback, I mean, they put it out, and subsequently they had Origins 2, and I got that in paperback, and then they had Bring on the Bad Guys, which was all about a bunch of the villains' origins. So, and then I got into it. Did you ever have something where you would get it, something you would get like that every year? Like for a while, I was buying my dad. I'd get him a Barry Manilow album every year for Christmas.
I don't know.
Hey, did you know what Ravens?
I don't know. I could. I'm trying to just think back on Christmases before the Atari one. I don't remember a whole lot.
Well, I got into calendars, so I was really big with calendars. So every year, my folks would get me calendars, and it started in 75. Where did I put those? I stacked them up somewhere. I guess that was 76. This is 75. So I'd get these cool Marvel calendars. They got me a Marvel calendar. So this one's 75.
Oh, wow. That's really neat.
And then they got me this one. Get a load of this. It's a Revolutionary War in this one. It was the bicentennial, right? So here's the event with George Washington, who the British claim is their biggest what they say. Anyway, he was like their most their biggest foe. Their biggest adversary was Washington.
Well, he was a traitor to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we lost, he would have been killed.
Right. So there they are.
He's a hero to us. He's a traitor to them.
Exactly. One man's treasure is another man's. But yeah, Paul Revere this was October. Paul Revere riding through Man-Thing, Dracula, and the Wolfman. About ready to piss himself.
Do you know Paul Revere's house is still standing in Boston?
No, it is not.
It's like I think it's the oldest building still left in Boston?
There you go.
Oh, that's neat.
Now here's a cool fact. Who's this?
I don't know. I can't see.
That's Shang-Chi right there. And that's the Master of Kung Fu, and that's one of the new Marvel movies that's coming out.
Really?
Yeah, Shang-Chi and the what's it called? And the Legend of the Ten Rings or something like that. And there's Mr. Fantastic helping him cross the Delaware.
I was wondering how he made it.
Sue Storm is holding them in a bulb of invisibility. It's pretty wild. Here you go. Conan the Barbarian helping the Yankees win.
Oh, that is some great artwork. That's hilarious.
Isn't that amazing? Conan the Barbarian. Oh, and of course, this one makes total sense.
1976 was a fun year because there's so much bicentennial stuff going on.
God, you ain't kidding. Remember the red, white, and blue basketballs?
Yep.
That was huge. Huge. There you go. Spidey helping the front. Thor helping Ben Franklin. That's what it's about right there. That's American history right there. American history. There you go. Black Panther. Gotta love it, right? Gotta love it. There you go. Hey, the Invaders.
Artwork.
That is Steve Ditko. One of the original. No, that was Don Heck. I'm sorry. Don Heck, not Steve Ditko. So anyway, that, and then I would get these Boris Vallejo calendars. Year after year, I'd get those, or a Frazetta calendar. See, Boris Vallejo. So those were things. Calendars were huge, and I'd get them every year, and they were really cool. But just like your story about Barkley, my parents, I wanted this because I had the first one, and I asked for the second one for Christmas. Joe's Garage by Frank Zappa, Acts 2 and 3. So this is not a kid's album.
How old were you?
There's people having sex with robots and talking about it in German, and it's really trippy.
It's crazy Germans.
Really trippy. But Frank Zappa, Joe's Garage, Acts 2 and 3. Crazy, crazy stuff.
See, Lance is backing me up here. Paul Revere's house is the oldest building in Boston. Still standing.
You gotta love it.
And it's just like on a regular road. I mean, like a main road, and there's a bunch of more modern buildings, and there's like boom, Paul Revere's building.
Yeah,
Paul Revere's house. Wonder how that made it that long. I wonder if.
Well, you got to remember that. Like
People didn't want to tear it down because of who it was way back then.
Well, I mean, it's historical.
But in the early 1700s or whenever he left, I would imagine a lot of people maybe just didn't care.
I'd have to see the house to know. Is it a nice house, or is it just like just like a shack or something?
Pretty much. I mean, from the outside, maybe it opens up into a huge mansion or something, but no, it was very small.
Okay.
It doesn't look like anything worth saving if you don't know the history behind it.
Right. Maybe there's something under it.
Did you know that? God, it's so interesting. It'll make a great fictional movie.
Yeah.
In a house that Ben Franklin lived in, there were several bodies found buried in his basement. While I think he was still living there. And it turned out, the story goes, I think that a doctor lived there before and was doing some kind of experiments or something and buried the bodies there. But I prefer to think of it as a cool new movie where Ben Franklin is a serial killer. I mean, he's got the bodies in the house. The story writes itself, doesn't it?
You can't write this stuff. It just writes itself. Ben Franklin's got bodies in the basement.
Literally.
Maybe they were his subjects. He had them hold the kite string. And they got fried.
One after another. All right. Put him in the basement. Hey, you. Grab that guy.
Pick up that spool of twine, would you? No, just run a little bit. I know it's storming. It's fine. It's going to be fine. Just one piece of metal. It's a key on a kite. How bad could... Oh, okay. Go get me another one.
Franklin's like a human bug zapper.
How could I do this?
This is what I'm talking about. You just change the story around, and then you got something.
Oh, that ain't right. That's yucky. And they named a Five and Dime after him. That's not right. That's not right.
So what about next year, Stuart? What are you looking forward to putting on your list for next year?
Well, the Amico, and I'm totally eager to see what's going to be available for that.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, who knows? It could come out in April, but from the way Tommy was talking and from how we talked the first time around, my guess is this is not coming out in April. That'd be my guess. At least not in mass.
Right. Which, I mean, that's got to be tough. I mean,
well, it's got to be tough because they need to start making money at some point. They're a business.
I know. It's like it's got to start paying for itself somehow, sometime, and you can't even get enough of them out there. That's crappy.
Maybe it'll come out on my birthday. I can take the day off.
Yeah, I mean that's gotta. I don't know. That would drive me. I mean, just trying to get a band started is driving me nuts. I can't even imagine having a multi-million-dollar corporation and you're trying to launch something new and you can't even get it out the door. I can't.
Name your band the Amigos.
And there's no chance to even, the tough part about that. And I get it. I mean, I don't understand it all. That's always my difference. I mean, I get it. I can see it, but I don't understand it. I'm in no way, shape, or form in his shoes. But at the same time, I can only imagine being gung-ho about a brand new project that you've worked your ass off and you've got all these people around you doing some amazing work. I mean, that's what being a part of a team is when you're looking at something that, maybe you're not doing all of the programming. You're maybe not doing, all the sweat and blood that it takes to do all the things for the video games and all the new games you're doing, but you're leading it and it's your energy and your charisma that's leading this thing. And you've got to keep all these people going too. And then he's also a musician on the side of that who has toured the world doing shows. And you can't even do that.
No.
It's not like, okay, we got production going. You know what? I'm going on tour. And while you guys are mass producing this thing and we're done with the creative end of it and we're done with all that, I'm going to take the show on the road for a while. You can't even do that.
Everything he does, he can't do. Can't do the live shows. Can't. The Miko might get delayed. Too bad he's still not doing those. What was it called? Judgment Day and Electric Playground.
Right.
He could do that.
Well, maybe we ought to do that with him.
Did you see?
Let's resurrect it all.
Did you see? Also about resurrecting. Remember G4, the cable channel?
Mm-hmm.
It's coming back. I don't know. And what? Man, I doubt it's going to be a cable channel. It's probably more going to be like YouTube shows, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, just a couple weeks ago, I think they did a little reunion show where they had the two people from X Play, how can I not think of their names? Morgan Webb and that little guy. I can't remember his name. They had those two on. They the two hosts from Attack of the Show.
Wow.
And then they had two other hosts who did a variety of different things, but they were on the channel quite a bit. But look it up. It's actually because they had Olivia Munn, who was on Attack of the Show. They had her back.
Yeah.
Morgan Webb was back. What?
Adam.
Oh, Adam Sessler. That's his name from X-Play. It was actually a funny video. I was shocked at how good it was.
Wow. I'll have to check it
I'm
out.
looking forward to seeing what they're doing. They still haven't said what they're doing. I know Tommy did mention something about he wouldn't mind resurrecting the show with Victor Lucas.
Wow.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. We'll have to check that out. And in the meantime, too, we need to check out, speaking of the holidays and who looks like Santa, we got to try to get together with TJ sometime.
It's not going to happen until he
Gets better
internet in his on his mountain.
Because what happens when he can't? Because he just makes videos and shows them.
He makes videos and he uploads them. I'm guessing it's probably a pain to upload for him.
Gotcha.
But he said that's the reason why he hasn't done any other shows, because like live shows, his internet's just too in and out.
Okay.
Like it sounds like if he was on for an hour and a half, he'd probably be cutting out back and forth.
Yeah. Well, we could do a segment. We could just do a segment sometime. Maybe,
Yeah.
just have him in and talk to him a little bit. We're just spitballing here, folks. Welcome to Spitball.
He's just a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a hoot, man. He's a hoot. I don't know. There was somebody that reminded me of him, or he reminded me of somebody, but I don't know. I started checking out some of his videos, so that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
For I know for me next year, the Amico, obviously, it's already pre-ordered, so that's a given.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What a speakerphone work. I guess we could do that. Maybe just have a picture of him.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. That's a good idea, Lance. I'll have to think about that.
Wait, Lance, how about this? Why don't we do it like we could do it like Conan O'Brien when he'd do that, like the old show, he'd do like that Space Angel thing where it has the mouth and then he would let me like that, moving the mouth. Just have a picture of TJ and where my mouth is. Yeah, give us a subscription. I think we're about ready to wrap up. But there was one other thing in my notes that I was going to write. So did you do let me see if I can get this down. They make cool ones now, stockings.
Ooh.
Was stockings a big cool thing for you when you were a kid?
I love the Christmas stocking because it was always filled with little things, but they're always like cool stuff. So yeah, that was always a big deal for us, the stocking.
Yeah,
and then until you got down to there was always an orange and apple in there, and that's when we knew Christmas was over.
Let's see. That's an orange in there.
That's fruit.
Well, it fills out the toe. You need something that fills out the toe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else.
We would always get every year with the stocking. We would get one of those Lifesaver books. Did you ever get those?
Mm-mm.
Oh, shut up! They still make them.
Mm-mm.
You can. What about Celia? Did she ever get one of those?
Yeah, it was shaped like a house, like a little brick house.
They had those, but also they had one that was it looked like a book. It looked like little books.
They have Lifesavers on each side.
And then you open them up, and it was like 5 rolls of Lifesavers down either side.
Yep.
Yep.
And we didn't get the fruit in the stockings. I don't think that.
Yeah, we didn't do that either. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's
also need Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. That's why.
Maybe it's a German tradition.
It's a McGraw tradition.
What, the fruit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, not. I don't know.
So
His mom made it up.
I was looking through the things I'm interested in next year. The Miko at Games Legends Arcade.
Oh, at games. Thank you. That's right.
I seriously doubt that's going to happen because there's some of the stuff I want before that. But they also have the stand-up pinball games, which are cool.
Yes. Yes.
Possibly the Play Date, the little handheld thing with the crank. I want to see more of that. The one thing I really want to probably get is a Polyomega at some point next year.
Gotcha.
Because the Play Saturn games would be awesome.
I think.
And then,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think for one of the future shows, I want to look up. You were talking about some of the handheld. We were talking about the handheld units earlier, and I want to look at one. I got to try to find a picture of one. It's like a larger handheld unit that was Pac-Man, and my brother had it.
Oh, you talking about from a long time ago?
Yeah.
Did it look like an arcade game?
Well, no, I don't think so. The screen was like sizable. I mean, it was like a handheld unit that was. I just remember it was pretty big.
I know there's been lots of Pac-Man handhelds. There was the one that looked like an arcade game. I think there was another one that was a yellow circle.
Yeah, no.
I don't know though.
It seems to me it was dark, like dark blue or black with some royal blue on it, or the just blue seems predominant to me. But it was a really cool game. I wonder if he still has it. I should ask him.
One thing that just came out. Let me see. It was just announced yesterday, actually. Can I add this? So SNK came out with a mini. 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, if you guys want to check out that Legends arcade machine, check out Retro Rich's channel. He's got a lot on that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, congratulations to Retro Rich. Him and his wife just had a baby. How about that?
Congratulations. I hadn't heard that yet.
I think he already has a son, so
that's cool.
They're good to go for multiplayer now.
Right. He and his wife are just having their own multiplayer family, is what it is. We need another player, honey. Is that cool? Can we work on that?
I'm tired of 3 players. We need a 4th.
God. Can you just give me a 4th player, please? What do you mean they're not ready yet?
So look at this. SNK wrote a brand new console. This is yesterday. A brand new console is coming from SNK in 2021. A system to bridge the needs between passionate fans and console gaming enthusiasts. And then they've got this image here where this is looks like a globe to me, like a world.
Yeah.
And it's got a Wi-Fi. So obviously this is connecting to Wi-Fi.
Right.
And the question is, what is this thing? Is it truly a new system that's going to be doing new games? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
My first thought is they're going to be taking their old catalog games, like a lot of the fighters and whatever else, the ones that anything that can play 2-player,
right? Perhaps
rework them so they are online. You can play them online and battle each other and have leaderboards and stuff. Wow. That I'd be interested in. Now, the first question I have is, are there controllers this from the Mini?
Yeah.
Is this going to work with it? Because that would be cool. But better is if they would let you use their arcade stick.
That is so massive and crazy.
Because this one is actually a console. It has 40 games built in.
Wow.
There's a lot of extra memory. There was rumors that they were going to sell old games in like packs.
Yeah.
But then they haven't. But it's cool. I always love this look because look, it's just a big gamepad.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
But that'd be neat. Now speaking of this, I did pre-order that At Games core,
Oh,
the one that's only $60.
yeah, yeah.
I have no idea when it's coming in. They didn't seem to know either.
Okay.
So at some point, I'll get that, and then I'm gonna hook the stick up to it because that'll be awesome. Lance Chang's it a flashback type plug-in and play system. I don't know. I hope not. They were calling this the Neo Geo 3. They had like a board meeting, and they said they're coming out with 3 new systems. One was the mini. One was Neo Geo 2, which ended up being the stick, and then the Neo Geo 3, which this has to be coming out next year.
Yeah.
So, depending if this is cool looking, I definitely would be into this because I like SNK.
Yeah.
But who knows? I don't know. I don't know what's going to be.
What's SNK stand for? Do you know?
No, it's 3 Japanese words, I believe.
Gotcha.
Like
gogamego.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't believe he couldn't even pronounce the name. What is wrong with him?
You're like, check out the show, bro.
Wait, that also means that this guy who came in here just to complain about that was watching Pete's show about the Amico.
Right.
This guy hates the Amico, but all he does is watch stuff about the Amico.
I'm just telling you. Some people ain't happy unless they bitching.
Someone needs a girlfriend.
At least a cat.
Something. Or like I said earlier, cable.
Yeah.
That'll keep you busy.
There's inflatables. Just saying.
That is true.
Not if you got a cat around, though. There's not. You don't want to have inflatables and have a cat.
Oh, speaking of inflatables.
That reminds me.
Well, 2 things. There used to be a show on about weird fetishes, and one was an inflatable one where these people are having relationships with inflatables. I don't get that.
Yeah.
But at my work, we used to back when we used to go into work, we had a day set up where we would we were supposed to help build stuff for less fortunate people.
Oh, I got you.
All the way from going to a site and help build a house for a day or do this stuff. But before we moved into that area, it was just like a big party. And so they had inflatables, they had food, and they had a rock wall. And they would send out an email that said to the freelancers, this is great, to the freelancers, it said freelancers are encouraged to enjoy the food and inflatables, but they were not eligible to do the stuff where you help.
I got you.
The less unfortunate.
Right.
I always love that they're allowed to enjoy the inflatables. I'm like, it's just an odd way to phrase that. Enjoy the inflatables.
It's like, what was her name? Why can't I remember? Peggy or Penny, the salesperson?
Penny.
She brought me that, I think I've mentioned it before. She brought me that ad for that little pet shop, and it said, $8.99 for an aquarium and some ass, because it needed some assembly. But all she wrote was some ass, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of place is this?
That is not how you abbreviate.
That's not how you abbreviate assembly. So anyway, I digress.
Speaking of that old job, and I know I've told you this before. I know my wife's heard this several times, but it was just so funny. I did, we used to come up with ads ahead of time, and then we'd give them to the salesperson, and they'd try to sell it.
Yeah.
To the people.
Yeah. What do we call those?
Spec ads. Maybe?
Spec ads. Yeah.
Okay. So, no, I take it back. That's not what this was. This was the company gave us copy, and then we made an ad, and then show it to. But they did it over the phone.
Yeah.
And so the sales rep gives me what she wrote down, and it was a drug company, like a little local drug company, And their little coupon was a free urine analysis. I was like, what? It's like, okay, whatever. Right. So we sent it out, and she sent it to people, and she came back and she was laughing. She said, I misheard them on the phone. It was supposed to be a free year-end analysis. Down urine. It would have been better if it would have actually ran as free urine analysis.
What a pisser.
Oh, hey, that's from Airplane.
Now, is that the year end or your year end?
A rear end analysis.
Hey, what are you doing back there? Which I've already been through that.
Oh, yeah. The Atari VCS finally launched. I know a lot of people didn't think that was ever going to come out.
Well, see, and that's the same thing with people with the Amico that are complaining. You're like,
I'll have to watch Atari Creep's video on that.
Out.
I don't think everyone's gotten them yet, but they've at least started sending them out. Still don't understand what it is. It sounds like it's an Android machine.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Well, all I got to say is everybody was kung fu fighting.
And other love songs.
And other great love songs.
Other great love songs.
Like the word great helps it at all. Yeah, because you're right. You're right. Kung fu fighting isn't just a love song. It's a great love song. It's what makes love great.
It's a love song, and you can dance to it.
It puts the foo in fu.
What?
Huh? Sorry? Squeeze me? All right. Well, be ready for next week. In the meantime, subscribe. Hit your notification if you want to know when we're being silly out here. That'll tell you ahead of time.
And next week, we're doing movie night.
That's right.
Christmas edition. All Christmas movies.
And I'm going to be wherever I'm going to be. So, I don't know. I hate to think that I'd have to be in a McDonald's.
It's going to be fun.
No. There's nothing fun about McDonald's.
Maybe you could get some reaction from the people.
No, all right.
Maybe put them on the show.
Is it okay if I take my Chick-fil-A in there?
You know what? I guess it depends on where you're going. I don't know. You couldn't even sit in there here. Can you sit? Where do you think you'll be in Florida by then, or like Georgia?
No, but I probably by that time. Do you know how far it is to get there from here?
Where?
Where in Florida? In Florida, Fort Myers.
Where's that at? What? North?
South. It's on the southern. It's on the Gulf side south.
Oh my God!
It's going to take longer.
What, like 19 hours or something crazy?
It's 1171. It's 1171 miles.
Oh my God!
So, because we were talking about renting a car, and she's like, "Well, and you get 1,800 miles or whatever it is," and I'm like, "Well, crap-a-loney, we're going to be almost through with that. Just me getting there."
Yeah. When did that change? By the way, whenever we rented cars, it was just unlimited.
Well, they do have unlimited, but you can't get anything with SUV in the name. You can't get it with unlimited.
Because last time I rented a car, they told me how many miles we had. I was like, miles? What are you talking about? I said, it's always unlimited. And he goes, well, not now.
Not now.
And so I looked at the miles, and the miles they gave me were from here to there and from there to here. It matched. It was pretty much identical. I was like, so you don't think we're going to maybe use the car once we get to our destination?
Yeah, we have to park it. You have to park it and take a cab.
I'm going to go on vacation and say, you know what? We really can't go out. Sorry. It's going to be too expensive to drive the car.
We just got here to there and there to here. So Christmas movie. Yeah, keep that talk up, Lance. You'll be ready for us next week. But yeah, we may have some guests with us, but we'll definitely be talking some holiday movies, which I have already watched a ton. So
Herrickle, go for the McRib. It's limited time.
I know, but dude, it's so not good.
What do you mean not good?
I mean, I don't. It's all right. You know what it's like? It's like the Matrix. That's what it's like. The McRib is like the Matrix. When he's Pantaleano, his character's sitting there eating the steak as he's getting ready to stab his friends in the back. And he's like, I know this isn't real, but, I don't remember all the lines. But, I know this is supposed to be this way and it's supposed to taste like that, and I know it's not real. That is the McRib. You shouldn't eat it, but I know it tastes good.
Celia always gets one a year when it first comes out because her brother Cecil, who is no longer with us,
right,
was a big McRib fan, so she gets one every year for her brother.
That's sweet.
And this year, I tried one for the very first time.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You've never had a McRib until this year?
Never. And they don't make. Remember how that used to be? They'd show it. It looked like ribs. They were like, dented in. Now it's just like a.
Now it's a patty.
It's just a patty. Yeah.
They're not even trying anymore.
No, we're just giving up.
They give it sort of a form of a rib, but not really.
That's pathetic.
And I agree with Lance Jennings. Panama is one of my favorite songs off of 1984. Was it?
Yeah, 1984. But here you go. Okay, so Lance, thank you for doing that. I'm not sure why you did that, but thank you for doing that. Was there something that alerted us to that?
It was Blake.
Panama, Florida. Thank you. Gotcha. So last week at the Open Jam, I had a bunch of my old DVDs. There was a big joke. I made a big joke that the elves broke in. They were drunk, and they took a bunch of my DVDs and wrapped them up in a real crappy way. And then I was giving them away with trivia, and it was 6 Degrees from Van Halen. So thanks for mentioning that. I am going to go ahead and let this one go. But
you don't like Panama?
But what?
You don't like Panama?
No. That's not no. But one of my trivia questions dealt with that. But I think what I'm going to do, Lance, is I say thank you because I think I'm going to start the hammer away thing very soon about Eddie Van Halen and Van Halen. I think I'm going to do that.
Oh, that would be a good first episode.
Yeah, and I had a whole bunch of trivia questions, and I will ask this one because now I have to kind of reword it. What effect did he use in the midst of that song to create that tone? Because I had to ask the question differently. I said, in what song did Eddie do this? And the answer was Panama. But what did he do in the middle of that song? Do you remember in the middle of it what happens when Dave is talking and it goes zhoo, like that?
Oh, yeah.
You know what that is?
No.
I wonder if Lance knows. Oh, do you hear your friend? You can come over this way. Come on.
Isn't the song pronounced Panama?
Panama. And then it's also pronounced Panama. Oh. There's lots of O's in it.
It looks like we've just changed Herrickle's life tonight. He's going to ask his mom for a McRib.
Very nice. Yeah, all I want for Christmas is my drippy McRib. Have you seen the commercial?
For McRibs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to them. I know.
Oh, dude, pay attention because I just watched a video about how they style food, right? And do you know how they make food look steamy on TV? Do you know how they do that?
No. Is it dry ice involved?
No, that's what Christine said. No. They said, the food doesn't stay steamy for long. It doesn't do that. But what does stay steamy for a while is microwaved wet cotton balls. So you got a burger in the front and you got some steam coming off in the back. That's because they've microwaved wet cotton balls and set it behind it, and the steam is flowing up from that. So there you go. So no idea, Lance. You don't have any idea what he did?
This comment was about your Panama thing, but I thought I'd pop it up now after you just talked about the.
Oh. So what Eddie does, it's very simple, because then later he would use another tool. Well, this wasn't really a tool. It was more of a handheld appliance, which that doesn't sound right, which is where Steely Dan gets their name. But it was a handheld appliance, whereas later it was a tool that he used on Pound Cake, where like Mr. Big, Mr. Big was actually on the Jay Leno show years ago when their first album came out, and their second album, and they had power tools. They used the Ryobi, was it Ryobi? Drills on their strings. So anyway, but what he did on the Panama is he slackened his strings with his whammy bar and blew a hairdryer across it. That's what that is.
Huh.
So yeah. Seeing and Falling Down. I need to I've been meaning to watch that movie again. I want to see that.
It's one place I worked at. It was a color separator. We all sat in like the same area. This guy was talking about this Michael Douglas film. He's describing it. And I just watched it, so I knew what he's talking about. He goes, I think it's called Standing Up. And I said, do you mean falling down?
Standing up, which I mean, true. He was standing up for himself. So I mean, it does kind of make sense, but at the same time, how opposite in the name can you be?
Completely opposite, but it still worked.
But it still works. I just saw a scene from that recently too. The one where he's off the highway and the guy comes after him. He's got the bat and he just talks at him and totally throws him off kilter. I loved it, but I do need to watch it. I need to find out if I can find that somewhere and watch it.
Boy, Pete just walked in.
He did.
Are you going to be on our Christmas show next Wednesday? Curious.
I'm so curious.
I'd like to have a lot of people there. I'm really excited about this show.
Me too. I'm excited about the 6 Degrees of Van Halen. I had some really really cool questions for that. I think it really, really was cool. And I don't really only scratch the surface. I mean, there's so many more questions I could have asked. But that's the beauty of 6 Degrees, because if you have any inkling about music and people who have worked with other people, then it's amazing where you can go only within 6 degrees. I mean, within 6 degrees of Van Halen, I went to Queen, I went to Michael Jackson, you go to Paul McCartney, you go to the Beatles, you can go to so many places. You can go to Ian Drury and the Blockheads. How about that?
Good.
Who was thinking about that? Nobody. Nobody was thinking Ian Drury and the Blockheads when you're talking about Van Halen.
No.
But Eddie Van Halen worked on Beat It for Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson worked with Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney had the big Rock for the People of Campeche, or Kampuchea, or however you say it. And Ian Drury and the Blockheads were one of the bands that were on there. Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick. That was their big song that he did on there.
You know, speaking of Devo, since you mentioned Blockhead.
Speaking of Devo. Roads lead to Devo.
I was watching a video. I watched the Men at Work, the Safety Dance video, and then I watched.
You mean Men Without Hats?
What did I say?
Men at Work.
Oh yeah, Men Without Hats.
Yeah.
And
I knew you knew.
Yeah, and the lead singer was talking. He was doing an interview, but he had a Devo shirt on. Didn't mention it, nothing. Just Devo.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he said when they were making that that video, he said he wanted to make it a Pied Piper video where
Yeah.
they're just running around and people are following him.
Yeah.
I love the opening when that tall grass. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it comes up to like his waist. It's so tall.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah. That was quite the creative decade. Quite interesting and creative.
Yes, I love the music. I love MTV during that time period.
Yeah. Yes, right. Exactly. Very nice. Yes. In fact, I did that. I did that, Lance. So check out my Hammer Away. I'll get it ready and we'll just do it. We'll just do it. Because I got to get that thing started, which is one of the reasons why I may have to quit one of my other things. So
Well, cool. That'd be great if you start that up.
yeah. Yeah. There's just so much running around in here. And one of my things is I want to go through my whole record collection and just start in the beginning and go, have an episode where I just do a record every show.
What if you played the record then dance to it?
I'm gonna follow that up with "Ain't Nobody Needs to See That."
You never know till you try.
Well, you're right. I'd have to do a safety dance. I wouldn't want to hurt myself.
This is all it is. Perfect. The lead singer was talking. It goes, "It's the easiest dance of all time. You just do this, and then you do whatever else you want."
And it's up to you, and you've done it. Just incorporate this.
Do you?
But I'd have to be a man. I'd have to be a man without a hat.
Do you know what that video was supposed to be about?
No.
Because a lot of people think it was about nuclear war. Because at the very end they show some like nuke stuff.
Oh, really?
But the lead singer said all it was he said before they wrote the song they were doing a lot of they call it pogo dancing, which I've never heard of. I guess just bounce up and down.
I thought you were going to say coke.
And then he said that led into like slam dancing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He said the owners would get pissed off at these people because they didn't want anyone getting hurt.
Yeah.
So they would refuse to let them dance after a while. So that's all the song is about. Like the line, "We can dance if we want to."
Right.
That's all it is. Just a song about they just want to dance and you can't stop us.
I am one of those guys that cannot stand mosh pits. I cannot stand them.
Next time you watch the video where they're down, where they're with a maypole and the guy chicken head fighting and stuff,
right
off to the left, up against the wall, there are three guys in modern clothes, well, modern for the 80s.
Right.
And they don't fit in at all, but they're way in the back. And all I can figure is that that's the band. My guess is those are the other three band members because they don't appear in the video, as far as I know.
No, I don't think so.
It's just weird. It's like leather jackets and stuff. They're just standing there doing nothing. So
not hanging with the pagans.
No. That's a great video.
Look, we're just going to be over here being normal. You guys, whatever. I'm not dressing up like that. Just do it.
That's probably what it came down to. They're like, we're not doing this.
But we want you in the video. All right, we'll be over here.
You can dance if you want to, but we're going to be standing over here.
I totally want to be left behind. There's nothing. Nothing. All right.
I still can't believe that guy said standing up instead of falling down.
That's beautiful. Now I do have to go and look for that movie. I'm going to look for it.
That was a pretty good movie.
Huh?
That was a pretty good movie.
Well, see, that's what I don't remember. I mean,
Well, here, this is how I am with old movies. I can't tell you anything about it other than he was all pissed off.
Right.
That day.
Right.
And that I enjoyed it.
And then I enjoyed it.
I don't know anything else about the movie. I don't remember it.
He was pissed off, and I
think he
enjoyed
was on
it.
a highway or something with a bat, or I don't know.
Yeah, because that's that scene where he had just come off of like the highway or something, and the two guys were coming up to him. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm almost afraid to watch it because I have a feeling I'm going to totally relate and probably relate too much, or I'll be like, what the hell?
He was a little cranky.
Yeah, he's cranky. He's cranky.
It's falling down a Christmas movie. That's the big question.
falling down a Christmas movie. Next year, the sequel, Standing Up.
Hey, I just did watch Die Hard for the first time since it originally came out in 1988.
Great movie.
That was, what is that, 32 years later.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a record from one viewing to another.
It might be like me and Johnny Quest. I thought I was, I told my son, I said, you wait till Johnny Quest comes out on DVD. I'll piss myself. Because oh man. I mean, and now I've got it. I got it on regular disc. I got it on Blu-ray. It's a whole sick thing.
Johnny Quest is awesome. Remember the beginning that they had that great action scenes of different episodes?
Yeah.
And they had one of the Giants, Daddy Longlegs, and they were like shooting them. Was that ever in an episode, the Daddy Longlegs? Because I don't remember them.
Yeah.
Was that? Wow.
Yeah, it's Dr. Zinn sent it, and it's actually parodied in The Incredibles. That's kind of why I didn't really love the first Incredibles movie, because there was a lot of stuff that was pulled from my childhood that I thought it was like a rap tune when you don't love rap, hip hop tunes that just yank songs from other people. You're like, you can't even write your own damn melody, just but it's smart marketing wise. It's very smart. Don't get me wrong. I just don't love it. I'm just like, okay, so like somebody else just did it with like somebody did with Killing Me Softly. They did that one. And then somebody just did it recently with I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald. Somebody just ripped that one off. I say ripped it off because they're not, I call it ripping off, even though they pay the artist. But I mean, I just think it just kind of, it's like a Frankenstein. They like yank whatever they want out of it and just pull it apart. And Michael McDonald doesn't care. He's making millions. What's he care? But anyway, what the hell was I talking about?
We were talking about the McRib. Jericho wants to know, how good is the McRib?
How good is the McRib?
So,
dude, it's like drenched in barbecue sauce.
I'll give you a tip, Jericho. Maybe order what you normally get and then try to convince like your mom or sister to get the McRib and then try some of it once they have it. That way you can tell, but you'll still get what you want. And then if you like it, get the McRib the next time. Or work a deal to trade. You could go all in if you wanted. It's always dangerous, though.
You know what really pisses me off is I'm going to watch this show later and go, okay, I didn't finish that thought.
What you're going to do is as soon as we're done, you're going to go to McDonald's and get in the McRib.
No, I'm not. I don't go to McDonald's.
I have never heard. Have you ever heard Every Breath You Take by Puff Daddy?
Yeah, see. Oh, by the way, if you want, put Every Breath You Take up against what's his name? Up against shoot. I love you more than I can say. Put it up against that, and they're almost identical. It's kind of weird.
Pete, let me tell you something about St. Louis barbecue.
Pete, I'm going to tell you something.
A few years ago, there was a top 10 nationwide, top 10 barbecue restaurants. 3 from St. Louis. 3. It was the most of anyone. I think Kansas City had 2.
And what were they? Sugar Fire or?
No. I think it was before Sugar Fire. It was Bogart's.
Pappy's?
Pappy's. And there was one other one. I can't remember.
Aren't they the same? Bogart's and Pappy's?
Bogart and Pappy's, same family. Matter of fact, we have a barbecue place right here we can walk to called Daly's, also the same family.
Really?
Also delicious. Yeah, they don't make like a second version. They just have another family member open up a restaurant, and they're all very similar.
It's like Frankie and his kids, right? Don't they have like? Don't they? There's that one family. It's like there's Frankie G's and there's Frankie B's or there's whatever.
Oh yeah, what's the one right here? Joey Bees. Yeah, there's Joey Bees.
Joey Bees. There you go.
A lot of bees.
There's a lot of bees.
See this? That's smart.
Yeah. See.
Just keep tuning in, Heracles. You'll find lots of good information here.
Yeah, especially from his side of the screen. He's the smart one. He's the brains of the outfit.
Should we wrap it up and go get some McRibs?
Stop saying it, because there's a part of me now that's going, just go get one. I'm telling you, watch the new commercial, and they pull it sideways out of the box, and this big like loogie of barbecue sauce drips across the box. It is literally a barbecue loogie. I couldn't believe it. They lifted it sideways out of the box, and it goes a blort. Kind of like how a frog poops.
Tell them no onions. The Heracles don't get onions. Look.
Oh yeah, Heracles. It's loaded with onions and pickles.
No.
So if you don't like that, then
see, that's another reason why not to get one.
No, you tell them to not put it on.
I ain't got time for that.
You should do it for my brother.
We went to this barbecue restaurant in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name, but it's a well-known one.
Yes.
And my God,
is it like really big and in the middle of town?
Stratton Gates. When they yell at you when you walk in?
No, it's not that one.
No. Is it a guy's name?
Oh God, I can't remember. And I don't want to say this wrong one because this place was disgusting, and I don't know. Lance Jennings is filling in for Papa Pete tonight.
No, he's on my side.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Lance.
Oh yeah, I think it was. But anyway, we go in there and you go to order, and they've got a bunch of barbecue like behind the window.
Oh,
and it's all just sitting in a pile of grease. And this was when, Nathan was like, I don't know, 8. He was really young. He goes, I don't want any of this. He goes, it looks disgusting. And I said, yeah, it does. But let's just get it because it's supposed to be really good. And I got it. And it was this, like, my God, this is terrible.
Oh, so it was bad.
It's terrible.
Oh.
We did the same thing in Arkansas. We went to this really well-known barbecue place.
Yeah.
And it was god awful.
Oh. Yeah, we went to a barbecue place that's well known and it's very nice. And I actually hugged our server because they had some sandwich there where you could get like 3 kinds of meat. And then I had never had burnt ends until right before we went.
Oh, those are the best.
Yes. And she goes, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking maybe I wasn't going to tell you, but I'll let you know what I was thinking is I was going to go ahead and switch that part of it out for burnt ends. And I'm like, you do accept hugs. And she's like, oh yeah, all the time. So I stood up and gave her a huge hug. I'm like,
yeah, I always get burnt ends if it's available because it's so good.
We should go down to the shaved duck. Yeah. Yeah. The shaved duck, downtown, not far from where you would work. And, it's down there by the hill and, they have killer burnt ends. So good. So good. We are still talking and we are still live. This is crazy. Subscribe. I might as well say it. Subscribe. Just like it says down there. Subscribe. So yeah, give us a subscribe. Tell your friends. We're looking for 200. I'm not proud. I will say it all day. We're looking for 200 by the end of the year. Tell your friends.
We're this close to 150. We're 2 away.
Yeah.
2.
So while you're getting that McRib, tell at least 2 people in line to subscribe. And then they'll tell 2 people and they'll tell 2 people and then it'll be a 70s commercial. Or was that 80s? That might have been 80s. That's like when I used to joke
commercial.
Huh?
What was that commercial?
The shampoo commercial.
And so on.
And so on. Are you frozen?
No.
I thought your camera froze for a second.
I know. I did that pretty good, didn't I? It did snow today, so that's our frozen moment. And
Yeah, our first snow of the year that actually
we
stuck.
should do that. We'll have a frozen moment in every show. It could work.
Yeah.
Fabergé Organics.
Okay.
Fabergé was the commercial. Okay.
Well, that's Fabergé, really. Thank you, Lance. We'll see you next week. I can't wait.
Christmas movie next week.
Yeah. I already know what ones I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to be eager to see what other people like and what. Think about that. All you millions of people out there watching, think about that. Think about what movies do you like that either nobody else likes or somebody has ever said, "Oh my God, I love that movie," and you're like, "What? I don't know anybody who knows that movie."
Yeah,
or,
I don't.
or the best one, the one that everybody else thinks is totally bitching, and you're like, "That's a piece of crap."
That's crap.
That's crap. So yeah, think about that. You know, like on Christmas Story, where she goes, "Get going."
Yes. And we'll debate some movies that may or may not be Christmas movies, like Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I was going to say, I did see it on Marketplace. $15. They had the Star Wars Christmas special.
From the 70s?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With, wasn't B. Arthur in that?
Yes. Yes. Nice.
That's the extent of my Star Wars knowledge.
There is only one version of Christmas Carol that I still haven't watched this year that I don't know if it's readily available. I think it's in pieces on YouTube.
Did you watch?
Do you remember
which one? Did you watch like the 1930s one?
No, I don't like I only like the one that's in the 50s, 70s, 80s, and is it in the 2000s and 60s? Yeah, there's one in the 60s. So I like the one from 51 with. Well, I should talk about this next week. So there.
Yeah. Well,
You'll have to hang on that. Just hang on.
That's right.
That's another show. It's time for a McRib. Go.
All right, we're out of here.
Go get a McRib. Are you still here? You don't have a McRib yet?
Go game. Go get a McRib.
Go. Ho 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 ho.
Go. Okay, go.
Leave Santa a McRib this year. Skip the cookies. Get him a McRib. Put it by the microwave so he can warm it up.
Ask your parents first if they think Santa would like that.
No, screw it. He'll like it. He's fat.
He'll love the McRib. Hey, you're fat enough to like a McRib.
And don't act like you're the only one giving him a McRib. I mean, 'tis the season. So watch the commercial. See the loogie of BBQ. The BBQ loogie. All right.
All right, we're done.
Go game gone.